Good morning. Alright, well this is for a buddy of mine. He's asking how to make templates. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to give you a short series of videos on how to do this. Now, what you see right now currently are 4 pieces, obviously, of cardboard. Now, I use cardboard. It's easier for me to do. It's stiffer, you know, chunk cardboard, whatever and stuff. That's perfectly fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my rough out. Okay, so that's the very first thing I have to do. Now, after I've got the rough out, now I have to do finalization of, like, say for instance, you know, the curve. You know, that curve right there, I have to finalize that curve, but this curve is actually going to be away from the perimeter of the car. I'm not going to actually have it touch. Same thing down here, that's not going to touch, that's not going to touch, and then of course the straight line at the bottom here is not going to touch. All these are not going to touch. It's a straightforward process. It's just simply making templates. So you grab this, like say for instance I create a center line, and from there I can measure out, you know, general ideas. So as you can see now, as I've cut this out, you can see I've got plenty of room, right? There's a ton of room there. So now what I'm going to do, the next step will be is that I will do a finalization fit. You know, another piece of cardboard. And what I do is I just glue these together. This is just contact cement, you know, just spray, you know, we'll spray contact cement and stuff, or CA, or double stick, whatever your flavor wants to be to hold the cardboard together. I'll do that. Now, as you can see, this is a very large piece. This is well into over 60 inches across. And the problem is, obviously, I'm not going to be able to get this out in one piece. So I'm going to have to subdivide it. And so my thought is that I'm going to subdivide it over in this quadrant here, maybe straight up and down as a straight line or something like that. The same thing over here, and then maybe just take magnets or pins or something like that, and then, you know, that plate will click on, you know, and the same thing over here. Here in the middle, you can't see it right now, but there's an enclosure up here. It's a bandpass enclosure. So I'm going to have a window up here, a secondary window, another window, and then a cross in between. And then down here is the amplifier, which is all behind this right now, by the way. And the reason why I'm doing this is that this is actually, here, I'll put it up into position. That's how it actually sits, okay? So this will be a 1/2-inch plate. This material will be 1/2 inch. So the basics, of the very beginning of what you have to do is you have to figure out how to make these, you know, like say this step right here. You know, how do I do this? How do I quickly, you know, get this? Well, basically what I do is that when I'm roughing out and stuff, is that I'll measure from here to here first, then measure from here to here, and that will give you the general idea. So you'll cut it, then you'll just slide the piece into place, and get just a general. Okay, well that didn't fit very well. Okay, see right there. See how it's pushing against the cardboard right there in that corner, and then, you know, it's got space over here, and then of course you'll see stuff like I'll mark. You know, I'll go around and I'll put you know, marks, you know, okay, I gotta move this in, or I gotta move this in, or the radius has to change here. All these things, I'll give my submit, then I'll do it again. I'll modify this piece over and over and over, you know, make it taller or something like that, and shape it until I get the fitment in terms of what I want. Then I'll glue this piece on. Now, in the case of this car, I found out was that it's uniform. So I could take this piece, flip it over, and make it fit exactly on this side. So that's exactly what it did. So I made this, and made a secondary copy, boom. Then I made this piece. Turns out same thing. You know, make a secondary copy, turn around, boom, there you are. So that was a quick and dirty way of putting this portion of it. Now this could be used, this type of technique could be used for anything. This could be used for doing a floor, this could be used for doing, you know, like in this case, this here, even in the back walls and stuff like that. That can be done too. So I will get you more up to date in terms of what I'm doing and how it ends up with all the shapes and fit and finishes.